Welcome back to Roster Rescue. It is the time of season now where we have just basically finished up 6 weeks. I know there's 2 games tonight. We finished up 6 weeks, and now's where I'm starting to get a lot of trades in my inbox. I'm wanting to make a lot of trades. This really kicks off trading season, and it's going to go for about the next month or so, where people are going to be real interested in what kind of moves can I make to make myself a contender? What kind of moves can I make to make a rebuild? All of that good stuff. Rich, you're back. How you doing, buddy?
Doing lovey-dovey.
I know the people miss you on the show. Are you in the same boat where like you're now kind of at that point in the season where I'm really trying to maneuver myself to be in the best spot for where my team's at?
So I look at it where like it goes back to my one motto is always try to win, right? Like I'm always trying to win. And when you hit this time of the year where other people are like, listen, man, I was like so many people are so quick to sell, right? Like, 2-4, like it's over. But like I try to look at like where does my team like do I have a chance at all? Like how does my starting lineup look? Because it's constantly evolving. Like it depends when I get also I can get back in return because like everything's gonna keep coming from a negative standpoint, right? Like I feel like we have our feet under us of kind of how we feel like how this is gonna go for most players. Rookies aside, where they still have time to elevate themselves, we kind of get a good grasp of like how all these offenses are looking, how these players are going to be used. But we're just now entering the bye weeks, right? Like all the bye weeks are coming for the next 6 weeks still, and injuries. I mean, every week you lose a stud player. We just lost Puka Nikola, who you're going to lose not only for next week, but then he has a bye. So it's 2 weeks in a row the person has Puka Nikola, the number one wide receiver on their team, is not going to have Puka Nikola. How are they going to overcome that? How are some teams are getting Rashid Rice back? Maybe you have Rashid Rice, right? Like it just really plays out. Like who are these players going down? Who are the teams above me? That's my first stop, right? Because if a team above me is just loaded up and I can't beat them, then yeah, like I'm interested. But like maybe that team had Puka, or maybe their team's not that deep and they're one injury away and I can kind of get my way in. Because all you got to do is get in, right? Like anything can happen when you get in. Maybe you have Saquon Barkley's just been completely underperforming, but maybe like something switches down the road and a talent rises up. So where I am not as hasty to sell right now. And can that come back and bite you in the butt? Yeah, for sure. You can miss the wave of, sells. And I guess it really depends on who I'm trying to get rid of. But like, sometimes as you get closer, more like I said, more injuries pop up, bye weeks pop up. People get a little bit more desperate as well, right? Like some people sold on, they feel like they didn't have to buy, and then new buyers emerge who are a little bit more desperate, but you have nobody to sell because you sold early. Where now you can still get what you'd have got, maybe in a little bit more. So it's a very weird time of the year.
It's more of an art than a science.
Yes, like, it really is.
And you have to know your team, because sometimes it's like there's only so many first round picks available. I have to be the first to sell if I want to get them. And other times it's like I know my league, I know how they work, I know how they think. They're going to push it as long as they can. And so it is like somebody asked me a similar type of question the other day, and I was like, sometimes people want it to be science, or they want it to be a math equation, and it's often not. It's often more of an art on how do I work the right timing and the right window and the right person and the right, like there's a way to get this done, but it's not always cut and dry.
Yeah, the only thing set in stone in Dynasty Fantasy Football is if Christian McCaffrey's playing, he's going to score more than 20 points. Besides that, everything else is just a mystery box out there, and you have no idea what's going on. Nothing is set in stone. You have no idea how things are going to play out. Rico Dowdle is out here setting records, like looking fantastic,
crazy,
scooping up Chuba Hubbard's job. So it really is. It's so hard, and it's so easy to point fingers from information you got or research. But like you got to remember, man, this is just a big scratch off, and we're doing our best to break it all down. And we're lucky enough where we get to do this for a living, right? So we get to spend a lot of time in between the numbers. And there's analysts out there that are the best in the world, right? The Rich Rebars, the Scott Garrett's, these guys that like crush, but like even they can't predict the future. And you just know, as I said, it just takes one injury, and it could be the quarterback, it could be the left tackle. I'm trying, Andrew. um, so yeah, man, it's a weird time, week 6, and sometimes I like to take advantage of the people trying to just be desperate, right? Like, oh, I got to sell first. I got to get out. I got to blow it up. I got to get these players off my roster so I get closer to the 1-1 in what's perceived as a weaker class this year. So every team, I say it all the time, is its own ecosystem and its own universe, right? Like if you're in a 12-man league, you're one planet, an entire universe that habitats life, right? Like it's going to be so different of how you govern that planet and how the other ones react behind you. I mean, sometimes it's easy to trade. I'm in leagues where it's impossible to make trades. Like for example, I am in a league where my season's over and I have Deebo Samuel. I got 3 quarterbacks. One of them is Dak Prescott that I am trying to unload, and people are just trying to give me pennies on the dollar. And I'm one of those owners. Like, I'm not just going to give. I'm not giving a championship to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here just to pass along a player for you. And I would rather sit out and hold out longer and go ahead and absorb some of that risk and say, hey, if I can't get what I want, maybe I'll settle when the trade deadline comes, up against it, when the season's over. I'll just settle at that point. But until then, I'm going to hold out because I'm not here just
try to get full value.
Yeah, I'm trying to help.
Especially for players at this time of year. I'm definitely doing that because everyone wants players right now. They're trying to make that push. So today, guys, on today's episode, it is going to be a nukes only episode. We have tons and tons and tons of these kind of backlogged. So if you want yours to be on today's episode, you will have to nuke to get it in. Reminder, that means you get to skip the line, jump to the front, and we'll get you in today. Otherwise, we'll get to you when we can get to you. It might not necessarily be on today's episode. It might be next week's episode, but we will definitely make sure we get to you. Real quick, David, I want to answer this question. I know we don't always answer trade questions because of timing, but I do think this is a good one. 2 QB league, Drake May for Neighbors, an even trade. And I think so for me. I've been all in on Drake May. I would be, especially in a 2 QB where I have to start 2. I'm taking the quarterback there, and Drake May's been everything I hoped for. So I would make that trade. Would you do it, Rich?
Yeah, I'd take Drake May in a Superflex league easily. Give me the 22-year-old, 23-year-old quarterback with a 20-year-old receiver. I don't, that is elevating his game to extremely high level any day of the week. The most valuable position in all of fantasy football in Superflex leagues is not just a good quarterback, but a young quarterback. So I'd be happy to make that deal and figure out the receiver later.
All right, Pete, I know we haven't had a chance to talk to you much, but we got a lot to do. So what do we got up here first?
Okay, so it's just me now. Let's bring in the squad. There you are. So this is Thomas's team. It is I'm looking at the Superflex Titan Premium. Just a little context. Previous 4 finishes in the league: first, second, and third. So he's trying to keep the dominance going. Lots of guys live by calculators in this league.
They'll only make the trades if they're winning on the calculator. Gotta love it. All right. So, but sometimes you can take advantage of that, especially depending on what calculator it is. So that being said, let's look at this team. Superflex tight end premium here. We have Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco at the quarterback position. Running backs, Omarion Hampton, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Kareem Hunt. Wide receivers, Drake London, Emeka Ibuka, Jalen Waddle, Michael Pittman Jr., Jerry Jeudy, Hunter Renfrow, Tyquan Thornton. Tight ends, TJ Hawkinson, and that's really basically it. Draft picks wise, does not have his own draft pick. He does have a 26 first, though, from another team. This team is currently 4th in dynasty mode. Pete, where are we at in contender mode?
Also, side note, this is an MFL league, so 27 picks might not be loaded in.
Okay, so he might have some 27 picks. We just don't know.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll click around on the other teams just to see if they have 27 first.
Yeah, but right now he's in 7th place, and this is kind of what I thought, Rich. And Rich, this happens. This is kind of the life cycle of dynasty, right? You do good, you have several top 3 finishes, including 2 championships, and eventually kind of that window just slowly gets harder and harder. It looks like he's done a good job of trying to stay young, trade for assets that are going to have some longer term value. So I like what he has attempted to do. But between injuries and guys underperforming right now on his team, it's just not looking like it's going to be his year. So for me, this is definitely not like a tear it down from the studs, but I think there's some tweaking we can do and maybe selling off some assets to come back strong again next year. But that's my initial gut reaction. What about you, Rich?
Yeah, my initial gut reaction for a team like this falls in the lines of like, what do I need? Like, I need to make some moves. Like, I'm currently like in the middle. I just have this Emeka injury, which he's probably going to miss a couple of weeks. I got the Mario Hampton injury, which is going to give me a couple more weeks. So it comes down to like, if I want to make a move, what am I going to do that's not going to set me back? Like you said, it could keep competing because this team's not old either. Like, it's set up.
Nope.
This, for me, my gut instinct, Garrett, would be right, kind of what I was talking about before. Like, I don't see a lot of moves that are going to benefit my team long term, like compared to value what I'm going to get returned. Because, like, if we go back to the receivers, right, like go down to his receivers, like the problem is the guys we want to offload, like, you know, like a guy like Michael Pittman or Jerry Jeudy. Like, I don't know what we're going to get back that's necessarily going to help our team long term. The only really asset I see here that's going to be like that we'd want to trade for our team for where we're at to compete next year would be a guy like Josh Jacobs. And again, that sets us back pretty significantly going into the next year. I have no idea where that first is going to be. But I don't know if it's going to be a higher first to get us another young running back or not.
It is a lower ranked contender team.
So like the failing I have about that too is like, man, if I get another young running back on this team, like, and I could use that pick next year, I'm set. For me personally, Garrett, I'm more than happy to work through tweaks for it with you, but like this would be the perfect example of what I talked about earlier in week 6. Like, man, I am beat up right now, but Hampton and Ibuka are not lost for the year. You know, the Kenneth Walker news, you know, that the situation, how he's being used with these splits, you know, it's like every other week he's the guy. Is very frustrating. You got Kareem Hunt, somebody you can kind of slide in there during a bye week. He's not going to do much for you. Just hope you get the touchdown. That kind of is what it is. A lot of people are in the same situation as you. It could be much worse. Josh Jacobs offsets the Kenneth Walker production now. Like, he's such a stud. He offsets it. You're getting Brock Purdy back here pretty soon, so you're probably okay at quarterback. Joe Flacco to throw in there right now with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. He could still produce from you from an okay standpoint from that perspective. Jerry Jeudy just had a nice game. Michael Pittman had a dud, so hopefully you start him this week. And then obviously you're backed up at tight end. I have a high first coming to me next year, Garrett. This would be a team where like I literally just I ride it out. Like unless I suffer like another big injury. Like, because I feel like I can get by with this team, and I'm totally okay with like squeaking by, beating some of the bottom feeders, and squeaking into the playoffs. Because if I can get into playoffs healthy, I feel like this team can compete, right? Like if Drake London hits a stride, Amari Hampton comes back and just plays what if he does what Kamani Vidal did this past week, right? Jalen Waddle has looked fantastic with the Tyreek Hill injury. Him and Devon Achane both. That is great news for him. He's probably his number one receiver. Obviously, Emeka was, but now he's his number one receiver. I feel like this team could kind of compete, get in the playoffs and make a little bit of noise, maybe luck into a championship. But if not, you come in seconds to third. Usually it still comes out with cash payouts. You can still put the trophy on your mantle with a bumpy year. And then kind of either do two things. One, take another young running back or just best player available with that pick. Another young quarterback wouldn't do you harm either because that'd be a great trade asset of hits. Take best player available with that first, or use rookie fever and trade that pick for a young player. That's a young stud that fits your mold best. I feel like having that pick really sets him up for next year, and I'm okay with riding out this year. I think any move we make here, Garrett, or unless like, I guess, you know, we can get Joe Flacco, if we get a second for Joe Flacco or a third for Joe Flacco.
Sure, you're thrilled. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. But those aren't moves like maybe we could luck into a Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, some of those lines. Those aren't like we're looking for an outlier. It's not like that pick's not going to be like change our long-term value of the team.
Let me throw something out there because I think a few months ago, this would have been hilarious and would never happen. And I think now it's still unlikely to happen, but I am looking at players that have had a disappointing season. And I am looking at that high pick. And I'm like, if the right disappointing player comes along, maybe I can try to capitalize. And so Pete, while you were clicking through, like I said, 98% sure it wouldn't happen, but I'm at least throwing it out there just in case. Brock Bowers was on one of these lowest teams. He was not good to start the year, and he's been injured the past few weeks. If somebody says, shoot, I could maybe get Jeremiah Love with that pick, I could get Jordan Tyson, I could get somebody high, I'm not happy with what I got. And look, maybe there's even, they add a little bit and we add TJ Hawkinson to the mix or something like that. Like, I'm at least throwing it out there on guys. Same with like a Travion Henderson, like different players that have been disappointing. I'm at least kind of just putting feelers out there to see, can I capitalize on someone being a depressed asset?
Oh, 100%. We have IQ score for a reason because everybody's IQ is different. So like anytime you can find somebody that's lower on the scoring scale, you want to take advantage of that. And it never hurts to try. And I'm with you. Like anybody who is out more valuable than even a high first in my eyes, I would love to go ahead and add that to my arsenal, and I'd get some feelers out there because you're right. You never know like what can happen. Some people are so short-sighted when it comes to dynasty that they're almost playing redraft, right? And they just look
right.
And I think it really is one of the biggest faults in dynasty is so many people look at that first round pick. They look at it as Jamar Chase, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Bijan Robinson. Not realizing like those guys are like, there's so few of those guys that like they're so valuable. I had an offer come in my offer box. A guy desperately trying to get JSN offer me 2 firsts plus 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and plus I can't remember. Like I think it was like it was a running back too, and I'm just like, no, man. He's like, oh, but you can get Jared. I'm like, no, this guy is like elite. He's my wide receiver 4 overall right now. And if you want to say JSN's your wide receiver 1, I know you moved Puka to your 1. Like I wouldn't argue it. So like, there's always a chance to get a player out there with those picks. It's always possible, and you should always try. So I guess we look at the bottom teams and see if there's anybody out there in those rosters. What sucks is like I wish we could see like the stand-ins of these players.
I know, because I would love to know, is he 1-5 or is he 3-3? Like I feel very different about that.
Yeah, because some of these guys are just like even these teams are ranked high in contender, they could be like down and out, right? And like I said, some people don't have. Some people look at week 6 and they think their season's over. But you still have a half a season, if not, we have more than half a season to go. Like so much can change. And you can
Marvin Harrison would be another one that would be on that radar as like a depressed asset.
Yeah, definitely with the injury.
Yep.
He tweets his
depressed
his knee or his hamstring.
No, he was the concussion.
Concussion, that's what it was.
Yep, he was the concussion. So honestly, like not that you love concussions, but those aren't going to linger throughout the season like other things will. So
yeah, he's definitely that first stat just to see. Like, hey man, I can use my, and then that opens you up to throw like. Then I'm way more open to like, moving Michael Pittman and Jerry Jeudy, even like a package deal if I could. Sure. If I had Marv to the deal, Ricky Pearsall is somebody I would be interested. You can't say on the field, but like I would be interested in Ricky Pearsall. Maybe not for a high first, but like if there's a deal there, like this team's real bad. Like I'd be more than happy to give up, that first if I get something back on top of the Pearsall deal.
How long?
Number 10 team?
Yeah. How long do you guys think Josh Jacobs has on like being fantasy football relevant? Does he have like 2 more years left, or are you trying to just
definitely got the rest of this year and next year for sure?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, if he looks at there's nothing about him that his game is diminishing, and he has been one of the most dominant fantasy football backs since he's entered the league, like for the last 6-7 years. Like he's been absolutely dominant. He looks so good.
Consistently underrated.
Yeah, always underrated. He's literally, I think, had 1 bad year. Like one.
Is
it was that weird contract year. When he like sat out and stuff. Yeah.
So kind of the new Alvin Kamara, just a little bit, not as elite, but maybe kind of an Alvin Kamara light, has the skill set to have that longevity a little bit more than the average back.
a better comp would be like a Derrick Henry than Alvin Kamara. But he's been, right now, Josh Jacobs seeing about a 19% target share, kind of pretty similar to what he saw last year as well, which has been pretty consistent with what he's been doing. Real happy with that. So I think Josh Jacobs is kind of flipping the script. Like, he's a player I would love if I had a high first to go out and pay for if I was a contender. And he's on a losing team. Like, hey, man, I have this first. It's going to be top 6. It's yours. Oh, I need a second on top. Easily happy to do it because I know, like Garrett said, I know I'm probably getting the next 2 years out of, at this point, 1.5 years out of Josh Jacobs, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's a player that's still playing at the age of 30. He's currently 27 years old. So 3 more years, I could see a soft extension with him in Green Bay as well. So yeah,
Rich, let me ask you this one because I know I've been the bigger fan, but if there was an opportunity here where it was like a Brock Bowers and Javonte for your TJ Hawkinson in that first, would you be open to something like that? Or how do you feel about Javonte as an asset period?
This is the team's first, by the way. So you were giving him
getting his first back.
His own. Yes.
I would give TJ Hawkinson his first back, and I would throw on my 27 second and third on top to make it look like he's going to lie a draft. And I would feel like I would attack that aggressively and not try and shortchange it with like, here's your first and TJ Hawkinson for Javonte. And I would put a message, hey man, Gano getting Javonte off your team and Brock Bowers will help solidify this being like 1-1. Who's his quarterback situation? Can you go back up?
Lawrence, Gino, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, put you in a really good spot to get Fernando Mendoza. That's going to really help you out. I'll think that. And I would definitely do that, but now I would throw my 27 second and third on top just to make it look spicy. No, it gives me another running back, fills out that situation. I get Brock Bowers, and that's a win. And Brock Bowers himself is worth more than that. So
that's like my absolute pinnacle move I'm trying to make.
Yeah, he's got Kincaid, so he kind of even lose out on Bowers. Like nobody could lose out on Bowers, but you know what I mean? It's not like he has nobody behind him. So even without Hawkinson there. It's not. This is tight end premium. I would honestly for that deal. Honestly, Garrett, for that deal, I would offer him since I'm a contender. I would be happy to keep Hawkinson out of the deal and just offer him his 27 first or his 26 first, my 27 first, and my 27 second for that deal.
I'd be fine with that too. I have no problem giving up Hawkinson though. But yeah, I'd be fine either way on that. Real quick, though, how do you feel? I don't think
you have to either, though, but just because he has Kincaid and he's getting. Here's the way I look at it. I think he would prefer the 2 first over the Hawkinson because he has Kincaid in the first. What does he care about 28-year-old Hawkinson? I think
depends on how confident he is in Dalton Kincaid.
I don't think it matters at this point. He's in rebuild mode. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is I think for him, what would dilate his pupils is, wow, I'm getting my first back, which is going to be high. And I'm getting another 27 first, which, I keep hearing about this draft class, and a 27 second. It gives me 2 firsts and 27, 2 firsts and 26, and I got my 26 first. It really helps propel my rebuild. And I can get Fernando Mendoza, and then I can fill out my skill positions here in 2027, which really kind of, escalates my build. And for me as that owner, that would way interest me more than the Hawkinson offers the 2 first. And I still think you win that trade massively.
All right. Well, that wraps things up. Best of luck with this. Would love to make that deal we talked about. Getting Javonte on your team and getting Brock Bowers, I think would be incredible.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff right there. That's like you walk in on a blind date and it's Kate Upton and you're like, what is going on? Am I being punked? And she's like, no, I just really like your profile. You're like, I love this Matrix.
Okay, this is from our friend Billy Bob Jackson.
Billy Bob.
BBJ.
Oh, we have a little information. He included a lot. Thank you for that. It's a Superflex tight end premium, 12 team, start 10. Mostly concerned about third flex spot. Currently has Chuba there, but that doesn't look great now. He's playing the 4 easiest teams in the league next 4 weeks. that should be auto wins. So he's projecting to be 8-2. And he's wondering if he should be tearing down from Nico Collins since he's strong at wide receiver. And last part, really quick trade reaction. He traded Javonte Williams, Brashard Smith, and Wan'Dale Robinson for Cam Scadaboo and Geno Smith.
Say all the names again.
Yeah, that was a lot. Javonte Williams, Brashard Smith, and Wan'Dale Robinson for Cam Scadaboo and Geno Smith.
This why is does like tearing out my heart?
Why does he have Geno Smith on his roster and not Cam Scadaboo?
No,
I think this is the wrong
traded.
Roster. This isn't the right roster. He'll switch it.
Oh yeah, this is the different one. Whoops,
that's the one we were just doing.
Good catch. But what do you think of that trade?
I would be okay with either side. I have Cam Scadaboo ahead of Javonte. But I do like Brashard Smith and whoever the other running back was you mentioned.
It wasn't. It was
Wan'Dale. I think he's going to be relevant the rest of the season with Jackson. So I think it's an even trade. I think it's even. What do you think, Rich?
I mean, yeah, you get Cam Scadaboo. That's all it's really. I mean, Geno Smith is worth about, as much as like, a pennies, like you have $5, but it's all in pennies. Like, you really want to go spend it? Like, it's going to take a while.
I thought you were talking about the mall shop pennies.
The mall shop?
Oh, JC Penney's?
Yeah, JC Penney's.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why my mind went there. I was like, it's like a pennies?
Yeah, you can call Geno Smith the JC Penney's of quarterbacks.
Yeah. It was good at one point of time.
Yeah, used to be relevant in the world and no longer is.
He is the mall of quarterbacks.
Your grandma buys
all
your
right.
gift. Come on, calm down.
All right, let's go through the Superflex tight end premium here. We are currently the number 2 team in dynasty mode. We got Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and now Mr. Geno Smith. Running back wise, we are Young, Omarion Hampton, Travion Henderson, Cam Scadaboo, Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, Kamani Vidal now as well. Wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins, Romo Dunze, George Pickens, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and then at tight end, Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, Noah Fant. Draft picks, they are all gone. You do not have any draft picks. You are currently 3-2. Where are we at in contender mode, Pete?
We are 5th.
Kind of what I thought. I thought this would probably be about middle of the road, but very, very young and exciting team. So looking at this one, here's the tricky part. And Billy Bob, let us know if that's a glitch or not. Are all your picks gone? Like, literally, you don't have any picks between now and 2028? Like, have you moved every single pick?
I'll refresh the league.
But
it looks like it is.
Okay. So he is all in. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of pieces in here I like. But this isn't what I want my contender to look like necessarily if I'm all in. So, Rich, how do you feel about that?
I'm okay with this as a contender. He's got arguably the number 1 tight end, right? Like, he has one of the elite tight ends, which is a difference maker, which automatically puts you in a contender mode. I think this is a very solid championship caliber roster. Jaden Daniels, elite. Caleb Williams playing good enough to help you win. Cam Scadaboo balling out. And the fact that he has Rico Dowdle now, who's pretty much locked up that role. And he has Chuba Hubbard to cover the bases there. Still waiting on Trevion. Still has Hampton in his back pocket, but you're starting Cam Scadaboo and Rico Dowdle over Trevion until Trevion really kind of gets his feet under him. At receiver, like he said, he's set. And I love the idea of what he said. Can we scroll down a little bit, P, here? Of potentially using Nico Collins to tear down. Because I'm okay with Jerry Jeudy as my 5th. I would love to find another guy as my 5th. The problem is, like, I don't know, like, Nico hasn't really done a ton this year. So you're living on.
He hasn't been bad, though.
No, he's not doing bad at all. Some people predicted Nico Collins to be like the wide receiver 1 overall. I was a little bit more down on Nico than others. But for me,
And he did have his bye week this week too. So sometimes guys with their bye weeks kind of get like pushed back in our minds a little bit.
Yeah, I really hope that Nico steps up and has a really solid week. Rico Dowdle has 100% earned the job. Even if it's here's the thing out there in Carolina is the offensive coordinator really likes to focus on a main running back in that offense. And more importantly, he likes to really focus on like a pass catcher running back as well. And that's where like Rico Dowdle comes in a little bit higher than a guy like Chuba Hubbard. I think it's going to be a 1A to like a 1C kind of thing with Chuba when he comes back healthy. We don't even come back. I think Rico Dowdle not only fits the offense better, I think he's earned the right to be.
Do you think like 60% of the touches for Rico is kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, and I mean, and what he's doing with his yard, I mean, what he's been doing, that's totally fine. And then if he can eat like he is in the passing game, which has been dominant as well, like it's gonna be hard not to give him the running back. I know they paid Chuba, so Chuba Hubbard's not going to just be erased from this, but like
that's the part that does worry me a little bit.
Yeah, but you got to think too, like there's not many situations where the running back is like the main guy, and that's fine. You know, the fact that Rico Dowdle's scoring 36 points and back to like somewhere along those lines in back to weeks, if he goes down to 19-20, you're still fine. Whatever it is, it's significantly better than Trevian Henderson. Like take it back.
Well, let me ask you this, because here's my one worry, Rich, and I'm with you. I do think he's going to be the lead back. My one worry about Rico, though, is this is a Jay Ajayi situation where it was kind of a middling guy for a while, has a nice stretch, but the two defenses he played were Miami and Dallas, two of the worst defenses in football.
Great.
So I am a little bit concerned, like plug and play every week.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Literally the first thing that popped in my head after last week's performance was Jay Ajayi. Literally the very first, like it's funny that you said it. Literally the first thing that popped in my head. But I really think I think Rico looks good in this offense, and his team is going to rely on him a little bit more. I had a lot of concerns about Jay Ajayi, even when he was doing it. I was saying hard sell. I actually bought Rico Dowdle in 2 different leagues for a second.
Felt
really good about it too.
Sure, I'd be fine buying for a second.
Yeah. So, and the thing, Garrett, is like I said, even if it comes down, and you're right, it's against those defenses are giving up massive numbers to running backs, and that's fine. Like. But that's okay because these numbers the last couple of weeks are massive numbers. Like I'm okay with him coming back down and giving me, like I said, cut it in half. Like give me 17 points per game, and that's a championship caliber running back. And the fact that we have, I said he's got Kamani Vidal. He didn't mention there too. He looks like he's locked up in like he's so insulated in Carolina. He's insulated with the Chargers, and it has Cam Scadaboo and Trevian in his back pocket. His running back room is solidified. And the fact that there are a lot of those guys that are young, like and you have picks all the way until 2029, essentially, like you can't mess with that. Like that is like, you need that because that's going to be your most fluid position. Now, going back to the receiver position, you can wait on this a little bit, but I would be looking for opportunities to tear down from a receiver. If Nico is the guy, Nico would be the guy. He's the oldest guy on your roster. If you scroll down just a little bit, Peter.
Yep.
It is as a receivers. Nico is the oldest guy on the roster here, and he would be the one that I would be looking to move. I would be looking at him on 2 different things, Garrett. One, to tear down at a receiver that's possibly hurt, and I can get like a long-term asset for somebody hurt, needs somebody to win now. Obviously, it's not going to be Malik Neighbors. You're not going to make that happen.
Let me throw out some names, Rich, and like if these are guys that you would be willing to tear down to, and then like what you would want the plus to be if that's the case. So like here's a group that I'm kind of looking at: Chris Olave,
okay,
AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Zay Flowers. That's it. Like is that kind of the tier-ish that you would be looking to move into?
That I'd be totally okay with those moves, and I wouldn't take it wouldn't take a whole lot more to get like. If I'm getting AJ Brown, I probably want a first on top of Zay Flowers. Here's a name that I think you could easily get a first. What do you think of this move? He has Jaden Daniels. I would not be if I can turn into if I can get Terry McLaurin and a 27 first. Does that interest you for Nico?
Terry McLaurin at 27 first. I guess I don't know that that's enough because right now, if I'm selling Nico, I'm starting with 2 firsts, and I'd probably want a hair more than 2 firsts for Nico. And I don't think I would pay a first for Terry.
Probably not right now. I mean, he's been hurt all year, so he can't put up those numbers. Obviously, Deebo Samuel going this week was wide receiver. Like, he hasn't played tonight. Going in the week was wide receiver 7 overall, which is kind of what like Terry was doing last year, right? Deebo's there on a 1-year deal. Terry just signed an extension out there as well. So, like, I don't know if you necessarily lose a ton of fantasy points per game with that deal. I was thinking Bucky and Devontae or Deebo for Nico. See, for me, like, I wouldn't be overly as concerned with my, like, add another running back like into your mix, or like that's not your biggest need. Obviously that opened the door to trade a running back, which is much easier to trade sometimes. If you can get Deebo, like, he just had a hamstring injury. We don't know if he's going to play tonight. I think he's leaning towards playing. I'm okay. Like, I would do both those deals, Devontae and Bucky for Nico. I'd be okay with that.
I would do that deal. I think that's a good deal because that does add a layer of safety in a sense to your running back room, because right now with all these young guys and then the injuries and all that stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, Pete, stop talking so much, man.
Really fast, just a little heads up with Bucky. I'm not sure if this really changes anything. He is not playing tonight.
Correct.
So if you trade for him, make sure that your matchup is set.
They played last,
and I'm assuming he already started.
That's right.
Rico and
next.
all that. So
no, they're playing tonight.
What's that? They played yesterday. Baker had that incredible run, and
just every time.
Next Monday. He's out for next Monday. My bad.
That makes sense.
They've already ruled him out.
Yeah, but I mean, that's suppressed value for me, Garrett. If I can move off Nico, like what I'm more personally looking to do is I'm looking to, like I said, I wouldn't mind because my receivers are so young. I wouldn't mind adding a veteran like Devontae, Terry McLaurin, like you said, AJ Brown. I've been offered Olave, my own 21st and 3rd. Was hoping for Pollard.
I don't hate that.
I don't hate that either.
Look, Olave is getting crazy targets. He's the second most targeted guy in the league, and actually, it might be one now that Puka's hurt. So I like that a lot. Honestly, I don't have a huge gap at the moment between Nico and Olave.
Yeah, I would scoop that up right away. If I can get Olave and my own first back, so I'm going to control my own destiny. And then what that does, it gives you more. Again, the first is an eternal value. So now that gives you, like, you could trade that first later. You can
move it again.
I would. That's an amazing deal in my eyes.
Billy Bob, 100% do that deal.
Because you still got to think too, like, I mean, they still have, like, even with Nico, even when they come back, they still invested the 33rd pick in Jaden Higgins. Or I'm sorry, the 34th pick, because Carson Schwarzenegger was the 33rd pick. In Jaden Higgins, and they invested the 4th in Jalen Noel, who I like a lot too. So there's a lot more weapons to go around there in Houston as well. Than, I guess, well, there's always weapons before they broke their legs like tumbleweeds. But I think that's a really good deal. That'd be your best bet. And then you're still super young and you got to pick back in.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the move. And overall, I'm with you, Rich. Even though I think you're a tad bit more confident in the running backs than I am at the moment. When you look at everything else, though, you have 2 quarterbacks that I feel great about in Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. You have a really solid wide receiver core, especially with how well Odunze and George Pickens are playing right now. Like, you're in a great spot. And remind me again who the tight end was. Warren, right?
Tyler Warren and Loveland.
You're in an amazing spot. Honestly, if the one trade I might make is if he gets healthy, we'll see tonight, maybe on Monday Night Football, starts playing okay, I would have no problem then moving Colston Loveland in a potential deal, because I know I have my future at tight end with Tyler Warren.
Yeah, but I think we're looking at that more in 2026 than we are in this year. Like, I wouldn't want to.
We'll see towards the trade deadline. Well, we'll see how things go. That could be a guy that could offer a nice, okay, we'll get Zach Ertz to help fill out for this year as a backup, but we get a nice, to fill in for this receiver that's hurt or this running back that's hurt or whatever. Like, he could be a key cog in one of those kind of moves.
And I know Billy Bob kind of commenting like, I think I need a 26 first. First is a first. if you're playing this long term, and a 26 first, which you probably might even get a later first, isn't going to be as valuable as like down the road. You know what I mean? Like it just, and plus it kind of, it's almost like a slight insurance policy because you get Olave back. And then if anything happens at your team that you kind of want to, if you decide like, hey, I won 3 straight, I want to blow this whole thing up and get massive draft picks, at least you still have your first in your back pocket because it's 3 years down the road. It's easy to say, oh, I don't care, I need a pick next year, when in 2027, like, damn, I wish I had my first back. And it's like some stellar draft class that we don't know about. It's too unknown. So I would much prefer with this team, I would much prefer my 28 first back than some random 26 first. I think it's more valuable to this team in its future.
For me, it would go 27 would be the one I'd want the most, then 28, then 26 last.
Yeah. Definitely get your first back. It's going to be a late first in a weak class. Like I'm not like overly concerned about it.
Absolutely. All right.
Really fast. I kind of, he asked about this, especially because it's a nuke. I kind of want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. So when you are selling out for picks for young players, do you like to do that? Because he brought up have a 3 to 5 window, so it was worth moving the picks for everyone because they're 24 and younger. Is that a good strategy, or are you worried about the parity of the NFL and like the lifespan on a lot of these players?
Yeah, when I'm a contender, my firsts are all like, if anytime when I'm a contender, at any point that I can move my first for a quality player that I can get 2 to 3 years out of, that's a move I always want to make. Cause like otherwise I'm getting a player at the back end of the first, right? Cause it's a late first for sure. Yeah. We know historically, we've got some really good draft classes. You know, you're looking at about a 50% hit rate of that player being rosterable, picks 9 through 12, 50%. So, and that's just to be rosterable. The odds of you finding a stud there are so much slimmer than none. Like even like for example, here's a good example of somebody has his roster, right? Say you had pick 11, you got Colston Loveland. Colston Loveland is doing nothing for you right now. Maybe long term, he can help you out, but like I'd much rather get the player that's going to help me now and win and get my team, and that's going to give me a couple more years, then take a crapshoot. I'm in a different window. Like I'm not in a draft window. I am in a win now window. So the more talented players I can get, the better. And if I get a player like that can hit, right? Like a player that has 2 or 3 years, I get 3 years and I give up my first for him. There is a chance that I could probably, if my team, somebody else hits, like I could recoup that first down the road if he still has another really good year, right? I can use him 1 year and then recoup a draft pick down the road for that player. But anytime I get a younger player that's going to give me multiple years, and I know for sure, because it's my draft pick, and I'm a contender now, it's going to be a late draft pick, always give me the proven asset over luck. Because like I'm not using that player right now. Like what receiver, like you took Jaden Higgins, or what's another receiver that went Matthew Golden. Yeah, like Matthew Golden, for example, in that range. Like you're not starting Matthew Golden in that roster. Maybe next year, you don't know. Christian Watson's coming back. They just gave him that extension. You got Jaden Reed, right? Like Matthew Golden, even if he's solid, which he's looked solid. He had a phenomenal over-the-shoulder catch last night. He's looked good, but like he's not starting on your roster. So those late picks aren't helping you now or even probably next year. Like most players take a couple of years to really like establish themselves as stars in the league, even, right? Like even guys that turn into stars usually aren't like, those are outlier guys as well. They take a couple of years to kind of come into themselves. Like Nico Collins on the roster takes a couple of years to come into like, I'm the guy, right? So like when you're in that window, for me, like I want the players that are going to help me, give me depth, guys that can put in my starting lineup, and some crapshoot of a late draft pick. It's overvalued. Now, I don't want to undersell it too, because those are how you turn into players that turn into Tyler Warren, right? Like you argue like, hey man, Emeka Egbuka, like he went a little bit higher than 111, but like right in that range, 19, 110. That's how you get Emeka Egbuka, of course. But you got to make it's easy to cherry pick the studs, right? Like you're talking like one guy here and one guy there. Like you can easily talk about.
Everybody remembers getting Justin Jefferson, and at the late value, but you forget that you also had Jalen Reagor there.
Yeah, 100%, man. So like, and to me, that's how I play, and that's how I try to sustain excellence. Like he said, like when you find yourself in that 3-year window, draft picks become so much less important to me. That like they really do, because what my draft picks to me are the asset I use to make my team better. not by drafting, by trades for players, right? Like, there's deals like I was able to get before the year started. I was able to get Christian McCaffrey for a first, a second, a third, you know what I mean? Like my draft picks were that commodity I used to make my team better that way because that team was selling, and that's the best offer he got at the time. And I was aggressive about it. So I'm selling draft picks when I'm a contender. Not again, this isn't forced, but I'm always like knocking on the door and seeing if I can make a sale.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay. The next person up is Nikolas. I feel like my team is a serious contender, but not sure what to do at this point. Do I try to trade for a better tight end and look at some upgrades for his depth? It is a 1 quarterback start 10.
Okay.
1 QB.
All right.
Okay. See the rest of the roster here.
1 QB. We've got Lamar, Kyler Murray, Spencer Rattler. The quarterback position had to start Spence this week, unfortunately. Running back, Ashton Genty, Jonathan Taylor, Travis Etienne, Trey Benson, DJ Giddens. Wide receiver, we got JSN, Garrett Wilson, George Pickens, Ricky Pearsall, Jalen Waddle, Jamison Williams, Quentin Johnston. So a lot of receivers there. Holy cow. Tight ends, love me some Mason Taylor. You also have Travis Kelce, Cade Otton, and Elijah Roro. This team has moved both their 26 and 27 first, but they do have some extra 26 draft capital there. This team is first in dynasty mode. Pete, where are we at? In contender mode.
First
Contender
as
mode,
well.
we are
Which is
far and away the number 1 team.
Yeah,
is
you
that
have
surprising to you, or is that something that you were expecting?
In a 1 QB, it's not surprising.
Okay.
Because when you look at how good his wide receiver core is right now, and how guys that used to have almost no contender value, like Quentin Johnston and Ricky Pearsall, now have good amount of contender value. I think that's what really kind of helped push him up.
Yeah, you have a much bigger concern than tight end, and that's your running back room. Because the fact that you don't have your draft picks for the next couple of years, that is pretty concerning. Because you don't have a lot of depth there at all. Like you are an Ashton Genty, Jonathan Taylor injury away from being less likely to be the number 1 team in your league. And in fact, you have no draft capital to get a guy back. Is a little concerning to me. I would be like, your team's strong enough. You can totally live off Travis Kelce right now. We'll see how that comes in. Rashee Rice coming back. I think Rashee Rice eats a little bit more into Travis Kelce than he does Xavier Worthy. So I personally, and the fact that you have Elijah Arroyo and Mason Taylor in your back pocket going into next year, like totally fine with me. Like I'm living with Travis Kelce.
Mason Taylor looks really good.
Yeah, he does look really good. I am looking to try and use a receiver to get a running back.
Well, and we do have seconds as well. So we don't have our first, but we do have seconds. So if there is a team with that thought they were going to be good with Derrick Henry, or something like that, I would love to kind of look at that kind of team. All right, so this is one of the lower, but it might. Oh, their receivers are bad. Yeah, they might be interested. What's their record?
They are 3-2, but
our team or this team?
For 11th.
No. I want
this team.
Oh, this one. Okay, they are 3-2. Okay.
Yeah. Have 2 first.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know how they feel about their team, because if they realize points for, like, they're not in a good spot. If they're the second to
they're
worst,
starting Luke McCaffrey.
Their record's good.
They have multiple. They have 2 firsts, so at least they might be thinking.
I would definitely give it another week or 2 and see where they're at. But I would be open to trying to get a Christian McCaffrey, because that almost seals the deal for you.
The receiver could be given though.
Let's go back to our team. I would love to offload Quentin Johnston. I would love to offload him.
Well, it makes take more than that. Well, he's also got Ladd McConkey, so he's not as interested.
Yeah, he might not be. The hard part is I'm not moving JSN, and I'd really rather not move Garrett Wilson, even though I know there's injury and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to have to be in the Pickens Waddle range to start to get the conversation going. But I honestly would be open to leaving those guys I would like to see where Quentin Johnston, Jamison Williams, and moving like a Trey Benson with them or a Travis Etienne with them would get me.
Yeah, I would have that. That's, I mean, I was thinking like George, hey, dude, like try and take capitalize and no C Lamb and offer George Pickens like straight up for Christian McCaffrey. See if that and like a Trey Benson back as well. I love the idea of offering Quentin Johnson, Jamison Williams. I'd even throw in Trey Benson. I'd even probably throw my second in there to get Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. And we have like all of we've got an extra second in 2026. So I'd give both seconds.
And I don't know if I give both seconds if I'm throwing Jamison Williams in.
I like JMO, but he's so tough to start. Like, know what week I can start him.
Oh, I know, but like he offers a lot of like if he Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, the problem is like I don't know if Christian McCaffrey solves our long term. He helps us win now. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I prefer not to give both seconds. I'd give a second. If I'm giving Jamison Williams and Quentin Johnston and Trey Benson.
But I think that's a move for him. You know, if he's really looking to rebuild, those are young receivers.
Yeah,
all those guys are in their third year. Trey Benson's in his second year and obviously has a nice ceiling. And then you get some draft picks. Like it, who knows? Some people are going to be, no, it's Christian McCaffrey. I need blank. And I get it. But some people might be like, this is my window.
Yeah, that's a total counterpoint to that argument. I'd be way more okay with that. Are there any other teams out there that are real low that have?
This team needs wide receiver.
What's their record?
3-2 points.
That's going to be the hard part. Is you might have to wait a week or two on some of these to see how they sort out. Because right now, if I'm 3-2, I'm not wanting to give up Javonte. Like I want to ride him out.
This guy knows that he needs to rebuild.
I mean,
I'd just get Dowdle.
Yeah, I'd throw the latest second I have it. Just get Dowdle.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Again, I mean, the problem is like the only thing is like I don't know what we're fine short term running back. You know what I mean? Like that's not like that wasn't my concern in the first place. It was a long term running back. So Dowdle doesn't necessarily ease my concerns there. I guess no running back really will. So,
and that's the thing. Trey Benson on our team, hopefully, is the long term, but it's discouraging. Obviously, he only got a week or two, and then he was done for a stretch of time, and you know it's tough to count on. After
I might be interested in Garrett. For me, if we can go back to some of those other teams, if there's like even like a possibility, like you said, like for this team, like a possibility here on one of the like on Marv, for example, like can I give you George Pickens and Quentin Johnson for Marv, like a 2-for-1 deal on that, and like give me a better receiver asset, like kind of do a 2-for-1 for receiver, and then that gives me a much stronger receiving core. So then when I need a running back, when I need them either in 26 or 27, and then I can flip the receiver straight up for the running back instead of like taking a short-term running back now, like a Rico Dowdle, for example. Christian McCaffrey's a massive difference maker and are winning, but like if I get we have so many receivers, if I can just tier up on a receiver and then gives me a stronger caliber bullet to shoot for a running back later, I'd rather do that.
What was that team with Travion Henderson that I just saw, Pete? Because if we want a long-term running back, that's the depressed asset that you can go after. This one right here. Travion Henderson. What's his record?
1-4. Are you not able to see this?
I forget. I think it always, in my mind, it always stays with our team. I forget that it switches.
Oh, okay.
I can't.
So 1-4. Yeah, he's not in a good spot. He has some receivers, but he could really use a receiver.
Yeah, attack. That's exactly what you do. Maybe you get told no, but you never know when you get surprised. Like, oh, accepted. Like I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and right now, you talked about a guy like George Pickens that's like hot right now.
Yeah, straight up.
I think that would be a great deal. Now we might have to go back then and like shore up something in our wide receiver core because obviously that is going to leave a dent in our receiver core. But then it's much easier to turn around and Trey Benson in a second for a receiver that we like. Or
I don't think it really does that much because we still have Garrett Wilson, we still have JSN, so we have two studs, and then we have the backfill of quality like upside guys.
for sure.
And then trade
But as
for
a
like
contender,
Terry or
I don't want backfill. I want another guy that I feel good about making sure I win.
I know.
Diggs is on a 1-4 team.
Yeah,
So going after someone like him.
We don't need it, but we don't need a receiver.
Well, if you do the trade,
we're trying to tier up, or we're trying to solidify our running back room. I love the idea of like, yeah, Trevion hasn't done anything. Here's George Pickens in 2 seconds, for Trevion.
You might not even have to give those. People are rumbling on Twitter about maybe he just sucks. Maybe he's a bust. Maybe he's can't beat Ramondre. Like,
yeah, start George Pickens straight up. He says no, then George Pickens in a second. He says no, offer 2 seconds. And he's like, dude, I'm not trading Trevion. Okay, move on.
All right.
I'll know you. I'll keep poking you until you yell at me.
Do something.
I'm not scared to be yelled at. I'm married.
I would love to get Rashee Rice, but this team probably isn't looking to do that. They have no wide receivers right now, other than Malik Neighbors. But
that might be the 2-for-1 deal that we're talking about.
Yeah, maybe you could do
Jameson.
I wouldn't hate that. Jameson and JSN or QJ. I mean
Johnson. Yeah, it's worth an offer.
I would love that. I would love that deal.
It'd been a good offer to make 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's tougher when he's about to come back. But
yeah, it's the same thing. Like, somebody put a tweet, they're like, "Oh, go buy Rashee Rice," and somebody had a counterpoint, and they could quote her like, "Yeah, that one owner's been selling him for 6 weeks, and waiting him out.
Really about selling him now."
Yeah, like I saw somebody else, but they're like, "Oh, I've been telling you to buy Tyler Warren. I hope you did in Dynasty." I'm like, like, from what are you talking about? It's so
nobody wanted to buy him the first 5 weeks.
It's so funny that people just, when they talk to, and this is, listen, no slight, you analyze and be an analyst any way you want to be it, but like, I really try to approach this game with like the most sensible like outcomes for the most part, and like it's like it's you can sit here and go say buy this player and go sell that player. It's like that's not how it works in Dynasty. It really doesn't. You're going back to the planet in your own ecosystems. Like it's not how you just can't go buy player X. And I say all the time, like, when people, we said, how many times have I said on the show, Garrett, where people are like, oh, I put this out there, like, oh, you're gonna win and got why didn't you get Garrett Wilson? It's like, because the person wasn't selling Garrett Wilson, and he's Garrett Wilson. Like, what are you doing?
And that's the thing, and that's why on here we try to give you like 3 or 4 different trade options.
Yeah,
because we know that one trade universally, even if 80% of the time people would take it, your league might not. Sometimes, like, look, I might get the best trade offer in the world for Jahmyr Gibbs, but guess what? I'm trying to win a ship, so I'm not selling Jahmyr Gibbs. Sorry.
Unless it's some like crazy over, like literally like a mafia style offer you can't refuse. And that's what, like I said, it drives me. Like, and this isn't a startup. When you're in Dynasty, especially when you're a couple years in, like you unfortunately have a limited pool to trade with. Again, because like, go back to not all owners are even active or even want to trade in the first place. Like sometimes you send trade offers, and it's like you might as well be throwing them into a black hole. And then other players, like they're just like they're contenders, and some people are a rebuild, and they're like the value is going to be drastically different. Like everything's, it's not the easiest thing all the time to make trades in Dynasty. And you got to also remember, like there's always like sometimes it's hard to find owners that are willing to make 50-50 trades. You get these owners like, I have to win a trade to make the trade. Like nobody wants to lose a trade in Dynasty. You know what I mean? Like I'm willing to lose trades in Dynasty, like the win sometimes, but like, for the most part, like people don't want to make lose trades. So sometimes you have to overpay to make trades, and you have to be okay with, like, when you're a contender, sometimes you have to slightly overpay, right? Like, and I'll tell that sometimes to contenders, like, listen, dude, like you got to slightly overpay. Like your first is way less valuable to me. Like it's not like it really is. Like you sit here and say like, oh, he's worth a first. You're right, but most things are great on a mid first. A late first to me is you're might as well be talking about 2-1 at some point. Like it's right. Like I gave up I was trying to make an argument with this person the other day. He went to get Christian McCaffrey off me in a league, and I was like, dude, I paid what essentially is 2-1 or 2-2 and a 27 first, and he's offering me a first. I'm like, you're offering me a late 26 first and a second in 2077. I'm like, you don't really, like, the values are just drastically different there on the draft capital. Like you think you're offering me the same value, but you're not. Like you're 111 in 2026. I'd probably rather have 2-1 in 2027, if I'm being honest. So like, that's how I look at it. And it's everything's going to be different. Every offer is different. Every draft pick is different. So like, it's hard to throw things out there and say trade for X players. It's why we kind of do the show, right? And we dive into each team and kind of try and find the best path for you. And that's looking at where that team stands today, because that's what your availability is. You can't look at saying go get Rico Dottle, and all of a sudden Rico Dottle's on a team with the first overall team, and he's throwing out running back. Like, he's not trading you Rico Dottle, even if you offer him 2 seconds, right? Like, shit, he might not even trade you for a first at that point, because like he wants to win.
So, side note, really fast, we have 53 people watching right now.
Okay.
And we have 6 likes.
What?
So let's fix it.
You hate
people.
watching us?
Haters gonna hate.
Is this a punishment? So one of the best things in the show is pulling up a team and just being like, oh, this will be such a enjoyable roster rescue to, just listen to you. There's a couple trades that, some optimization. Then there's this team.
Oh, remember that one day we had back-to-back teams were like we didn't even know what to do.
Yeah.
So bad, and like, sorry, dude. Like,
is this one of those?
This is one of those. This is Patrick.
Okay.
What he wrote was not a super flex.
Okay.
Really need some serious help, messed up big time, and don't have any idea which way to go. So we are here for you, Patrick.
I see your SOS signal, and I am hovering.
So it's a 1 quarterback, 12 team, start 9 with 2 flex.
Okay.
All right. We are 0-5, ranked 12th, points forced 12th. We know exactly where we're at. The quarterback
we do not have any of our picks.
This is cute, and I haven't had any drinks yet.
Okay.
We'll see, because I don't think we have any picks, Rich. So.
It doesn't. I know, but still,
we
have something to work
have at least.
Okay. Yeah, we've seen worse.
We have. It's not.
Worse.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
She's a 3.5. All right. CJ Stroud, Dylan Gabriel, Tyler Shuck. Running back wise, we've got Quinshon Judkins, Woody Marks, Jalen Wright, Jarquez Hunter, LaQuint Allen. At wide receiver, we've got Rome Odunze, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Jack Besh, Dontavian Wicks, Michael Wilson, Luke McCaffrey, Parker Washington. At tight end, we have Mason Taylor, Elijah Roro, Terrence Ferguson, Jawan Johnson. Draft pick wise, we do not have our own first, which is a bummer. In fact, we don't have our own first and 27 either, but we do have other teams first in both 27 and 28, and we've got some seconds sprinkled in there as well. I'm guessing contender mode, we are also 12th there, Pete.
What were you saying, Rich? Correct.
Yeah. I want to see tall white guys roster. The debate.
He
I'm moving at
is 4-1, 4th in points scored. But he has Bucky, so he could be.
Yeah, but he's his 27 first. Oh yeah, his 27 first is way more. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. So we're okay. I want to see if
okay.
I was to see if we're trying to wheel and deal that. That makes it better too. But no, I feel pretty good about his 27 first, kind of helping us out. Those receivers are old.
Yeah, this team might actually need a little bit more help than this guy.
All right. Well, at least we're at the bottom. We know where we need to go.
Yeah. Love Quinshon, but he's got to go.
He's got to go. And you're splitting that into multiple assets. And honestly, at this point, prefer picks in 2027. And I'm trying to just look, 2026 is going to suck. The rest of this year is going to suck for you. 2026 is going to suck for you. But 2027 could be really, really fun. CJ Stroud, you're not getting much for, but if there's any team that keeps losing quarterbacks due to injury, take a third and move on. Rome Odunze is the only piece that I would like to not get rid of. But that being said, the right trade comes along. There is a price.
Yep. Everybody's got a price. So let's just work our way out to the top here, huh?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Let's see. Could maybe use a running back, but I don't know that I want this guy's pick.
He does have other people's pick. He has a
Tall white.
I guess
guy's
his
pick.
record's not terrible right now. Tall white guy.
No, it's not. He's fine for this year. I'm saying 2027 when he have his first. He has all old receivers. Like in 2026,
And he's not adding a first round pick to his team next year, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not that pick's not going anywhere for me.
Nope. All right, next one. This team has all the running backs, but what do they have at receiver? Just what I thought.
27.
They would love Roma Dunze, but do they? Oh, they don't even have any picks. It doesn't matter. Next.
No, that's the crazy thing is this team has all the picks.
Okay. Bears still suck, has all of them.
No, the team in first.
The number one team in dynasty mode. Yeah. Or in contender mode.
God.
Yeah.
I guess not.
He's done a good job.
But
320 first, 326 first. Looking good.
This team could use a running back, maybe. If I were them, I would want a third running back if that was my running back room. What do they have pick wise, Pete? Okay. They've got some stuff to work with for us.
Yep.
Who's Pet Cemetery?
The fourth ring team, 5-0.
They don't have any running backs. They're 5-0.
It be what it be. That's fantasy football.
Dallas Goedert's been going nuts. That's
just
been helpful.
carrying them.
Yeah. I don't think this team's that great. Jackson Dart, Jaden Daniels, that helps, but it's only a 1 QB.
If I could flip, if I get RJ Harvey and his 27 first.
Well, he doesn't have his 27 first. We're looking at another team that has his.
Never mind. I'm not interested.
But what was the team that has his? Because I'm open to this team's first in 27.
Is this guy?
All right. What does he need? He needed a running back, right? Maybe.
Yeah, he has a bunch of flex running backs.
Yeah. I'd be willing to make a move. Rich, would you take a 27 first and a 20? I almost don't even want the 26 first. I'd almost rather take the 28 first. But I feel like that's not enough for Quinshon.
I would try and get. I would like to somehow. He has Justin Jefferson and Jordan. I'd like to get Jordan Addison off of him personally.
So 2 first and Jordan Addison. 27.
No,
28 Jordan Addison.
And we give him back Jerry Jeudy.
Okay. I would love that deal.
He has Justin Jefferson on this team too, so I could see him kind of wanting to. Yeah.
I mean, Jordan Addison's a good receiver. So, like, if I can offload Stonehand's Jerry Jeudy and get Jordan Addison, I don't know how he'd be give up 2 firsts for Quinshon, but I'd pay 2 firsts.
He's got an extra first because he's got 2 and 26. I don't really want the 26. Go down to the picks, Pete. I don't really want the 26 first. I would like to get Pet Cemetery's 27 first and his 28 first is what I'd like to get.
Agree.
Yeah. In a perfect world, I think that's what I'd be going after. And I would try to get Jordan Addison and give him back like Jerry Jeudy or something like that. I'd have no problem doing that. Let's go to the next couple teams, Pete. This one didn't have any picks for us to work with. Does this team have any picks? Okay, they have all
27 first. Yeah.
Okay, they have all their picks. What do they need?
He is 4-1, but 6th in points for.
Oh, you could really use running back.
He could definitely use a third running back. Ooh, I would love. He's been surviving without Rashee Rice so far. Can I work Rashee Rice into this? Give him Quinshon and Jerry Jeudy and get Rice the 27 first.
That's
and maybe a second.
You're pushing it.
I'd rather push it in the beginning and then I can always back off though.
I guess you can ask for it, but like he could. I mean, the way he has to look at it, he's doing well now, and he really needs Rice.
He does, but he also really needs a running back.
I think he needs Rice more than he needs a running back. But you're right, he needs both. But like, again, I try to look at things as this is my team. Like, there's no like, I can't like, I don't even know if I would take. You're getting Judy back, which is nice.
Appreciate it, man.
I would. Yeah, I missed the name. Yeah, dude. I would offer it. I know if I was that team, I'd like, oh, I'm getting Quinshon. And getting Judy is a softener on the Rice.
It helps.
He's
I like my rice soft. I don't want my rice hard.
Only hard rice is at weddings.
What other receivers do we have, Pete? Is there anybody else that we could throw in there too to like make
Tillman, Parker Washington?
Not really.
Do we want to throw in a second?
No.
Well, we're trying to get his second. I mean, I guess I would throw in the third if he would throw in the second.
Yeah, like I'd do that. Like I'd throw in like this third next year for a second in 2027. Like he's gonna pick sooner.
So Judy, Quinshon, and a third for Rice, a first and a second.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I think I'm okay with that as well. And yeah, and if Rice gets anywhere back to where he was, then that's a huge, huge win.
Yeah, remember,
but obviously he's taking on risk. Maybe he doesn't.
Yeah, huge risk, and that's what's. And Quinshon is like borderline cornerstone running back. 21 years old.
Sure,
has looked really good.
The only thing he's missing is that receiving profile. That's the thing he's missing.
Yeah, correct.
Browns can't throw the ball though, so that
Browns can't do anything. Pete, please, it hurts enough. I've been watching.
This guy's flying high. His team's in the ALCS, so he's flying high.
We're taking on Canada.
I've watched a lot of Browns teams. It's one of the worst offenses I've ever seen.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. All right. Any other deals with some other teams that we can look at, Pete?
Here we go. Can you? Because everybody's looking for a good young running. Like this guy just lost Bucky Irvin. Can we sweep the leg?
He doesn't. This is white guy.
Right, 7.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have any picks. Not interested. Look and see if they have picks first. If they don't have picks, we're probably not interested.
This guy has picks.
Oh, he's got 2 and 27. He's got 2 picks in 27. I like that.
Yeah, I'm offering him.
Would you
scroll up just a little bit as receivers?
Honestly, Rich, I would be willing to do because I don't think any of those receivers are changing anything unless you want to take a flyer maybe on like a Boutte.
I was just about to say, let's take the flyer on Booty and offer him Quinshon and Jerry Judy for Booty in the 227 first.
And honestly, I would like to get a second on top because honestly, the starting point for me on Quinshon is 2 first. Like that's the starting point for me.
This is the other team that first is previously owned by.
Okay, so this is an older team.
Yeah.
CMC is going to be gone in a year or two.
Yeah, old receiver.
Mike Evans, DJ Moore.
Oh, the receiver core is going to be empty.
Yeah, I want that first.
Yeah. So even if I can't get the extra, I'd be willing to do it as long as I can get. If I'm giving Judy, I do want the second. If I'm not giving Judy, I would be willing to settle for Booty and the 2 first.
Here's the way I look. So this is the way I look at it, Garrett. Like you're looking from a very fair standpoint. I'm looking at it from a standpoint. I really want to get this deal done. He could really use that other receiver right now. I'm totally okay with taking the upside on Booty. Like again, it's just upside. To me, I'm more concerned about getting the 227 first deal because, and you're right, like Quinshon Judkins is worth 220 first. That's fine to say. It doesn't necessarily like some people are just eager to pay that. And the fact it's also a running back, so it's harder to move a little bit. And it all depends how much you love Quinshon. Like we love Quinshon, you know what I mean? So like
for sure,
I would want to use Judy as like the cherry on top, and just to make sure I get the deal done, and ask for the set. And you're right. I wanted a second on back. I'm gonna ask for the second too. Like on
Yeah, if I'm giving Judy, I want the second. If I'm not giving Judy, I don't need the second. I think for me, I am less willing. I played a little more hard nosed when I'm getting picks back because I can't afford to lose value. Like I have no value on my team. Whereas I'm a little more willing to I'll lose the trade if I'm the contender and I'm the one getting the players to try to win now. Does that make sense?
It does. Another way to look at it too, though, is Judy's kind of worth a second right now. Hopefully, how it's playing. Maybe a second plus. That 27 first, which it looks like it's gonna be top 6 probably for sure. Even though it's one QB, it's a little. And these picks are a little bit less value. I wouldn't let a player like that who has no long
bearing on your team,
and he'd be a really hard player to trade by himself. You know what I'm saying? As a standalone, Judy's a real hard player to trade by himself. Definitely in a one QB league like this.
For sure.
I think at best you're probably lucky to get a second, maybe, and the plus would be a third. Which again to me is meaningless. So what I'm trying to say is if that was the deal, I'm with you. I'm trying to get a second on top because I'm throwing in Judy, but if that was a deal breaker, Judy holds no value to our team long term, and we're still we'd be trying to then trade Judy to get him off our roster. And I know we don't have our own first, so it doesn't really matter how low we finish. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't let that be the deal breaker not to make the deal get done.
I hear you.
But
that makes sense.
And the point also would be okay, if Judy's at 28 years old, when we're ready to take a step forward, our wide receiver 4 and a flex, that holds value to us down the road. If all of a sudden he learns how to catch again, he's not a negative value player. And I'm trying to rush off. I'm just saying, if I had that one first looks like it's can we agree that 127 first looks like it's gonna be pretty solid?
Absolutely.
So my point is that doesn't necessarily I'd rather that first is way more important than anything else, I guess. To me.
I definitely agree on that.
And it holds. And what I'm saying is that slightly holds a little bit more weight than trying to play hardball on the second. You know what I'm saying? And that's all. If I'm giving Judy, I'm with you. I'm trying to do that, but it wouldn't be the deal breaker for me if I had to. I'm trying to get the second. He says no, then I take out the second. I'm all right, dude, I'll give you. I'm same thing. Quinshon's worth 2 first by himself. You need a receiver help. Give me Booty. Here's Jerry Judy. Who was a wide receiver 1 last year, throwing it on top as well. I think that's what I'm taking. I just wouldn't let it be I wouldn't play hardball. I think for me, what we looked at, I think that's the best deal for us right now for Quinshon.
All right.
The 1 first we already have looks pretty solid. They give us 2 really solid 27 first, and then a later.
Give us 3 first. Yeah,
I know, but the 2 look really solid. The 1 looks really 100%. Good. Another one looks like it has a chance to be pretty good.
Absolutely.
And we still have Roman in our back pocket, and then we're just sitting. Then we're just sitting around.
We're just kind of waiting. Yep.
Yeah. Any quarterback news where I could flip CJ Stroud into anything for a quarterback plus a second because of his youth? I would love to do that. Target the Nico owner with the CJ Stroud offer. Take any older guy back or just some kind of depth upside quarterback would be great. Hey, here's CJ Stroud for Cam Ward plus. Even though Cam Ward doesn't look great, but here. Just a quarterback to have. So, and the reason I want to do that, Gary, is because I don't want to have to then worry about using any of my draft capital on a quarterback. That's all. And I want to have something mildly established. So I am ready to turn the corner, which the quarterback takes longer usually to come into their own. I just don't want to leave myself empty cupboard there because then all of a sudden all this draft capital we have that we need to acquire skill position players, to running backs and receivers. We're fine at tight end with Mason Taylor. Now we have to use that on a quarterback and then hope, which is already a 50-50 shot at best to be solid, to pan out. And Stroud's young enough where we can just sit on him because he's probably going to be the guy, right? So I wouldn't be urgent to give Stroud up unless I got a quarterback back plus a draft pick. And that draft pick would have to be probably a second because otherwise I'd rather just go ahead and sit on Stroud. That way I don't set my rebuild back. What we're pushing for is 2027 back again. That's all.
All right, let's move on to Frank, right? Frank's our next one up.
Really, really fast. Garrett, if people were wanting to access these tools, how would they do that?
Yeah, best way to do it is head to the Dynasty Nerds website. You could sign up there, but even better, honestly, I said best. That's not true. Best way to sign up with Fast Draft. You can use promo code NERDS. If you use promo code NERDS, all you got to do is spend $10. You could spend up to $100. They'll double your deposit, which is pretty awesome. They have weekly games, best ball stuff. It's amazing. But when you do that, We give you everything we have at Dynasty Nerds absolutely free. All these tools we're using, extra podcasts, all that kind of stuff, absolutely free at dynastynerds.com. Use Fast Draft promo code NERDS to make that happen.
Sweet. Thanks. So this is Frank's team. It's a Superflex. Start 10 and league size is 10.
Okay, so a little bit of a smaller league, but we got the super flex aspect to it here. At the moment, we are 5-0, and we are first in points for. So let's break this team down. Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Sam Darnold, Justin Fields at the quarterback position. Running back Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, David Montgomery, Tyjae Spears, Aaron Jones, Tank Bigsby. Wide receivers, we have Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Xavier Worthy, Chris Olave, Chris Godwin, Khalil Shakir, Torrey Horton, Romeo Dobbs, Kayshon Boutte. And then at tight end, David Njoku, Hunter Henry, Elijah Roro, and Jawan Johnson. Draft pick wise, we have all of our picks. We haven't moved anything, so we've got everything available for us to go any direction that we're wanting to go. We're currently in 4th place in Dynasty mode. Pete, where are we at in contender mode?
Kabam.
The number 1 squad. Love to see it. And makes sense. We have first in points for, first in our ranking. So, Rich, overall, when you're in this kind of spot, there's not a ton of drastic moves that need to be made. That being said, this is a 10-team league. So those leagues tend to have more talent consolidated, and it's a little bit harder at times to get a huge leg up on another team. Whereas in some of those other leagues, when it's spread out, you can have a really dominant team and people have a hard time catching up. Teams can catch up decently quick in this type of league. And we're definitely in first, but we're not head and shoulders above other people. And right now, for me, off the top of my head, there's 2 concerns for me right now. One, our super flex spot is very iffy, especially with only being 10 teams. And our running back depth is questionable considering it's a 10-team league. Would you agree with that, Rich? Or are there other areas that you're kind of want to keep an eye on?
100%. It's where I'm all about like moving my first. I would like to use my first to upgrade my 3rd running back. I would love to use my first and upgrade my quarterback 2. If I can give Trevor Lawrence plus for a better young quarterback. Somebody's looking to rebuild. They still get a quarterback back.
Oh, he has Burrow. Never mind.
We've actually had some pleasant surprises on this roster though, because even though Justin Fields has been disappointing and Trevor Lawrence has been mid at best, Sam Darnold has actually played really well.
I mean, totally bypassed him. Didn't even read his name. He's playing well.
Isn't it funny?
Yeah, and he's a Seattle quarterback. So you're okay. I guess I'm more concerned about you know what? I'm more concerned right now than for this show, upgrading our running back position.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
So can we start back at the bottom there, Pete?
Yep. Any interest in, Kyron's the only.
First for Kyron Williams. No problem.
Yep.
And
that would be easy for me, especially in a 10-team league. Like, yeah, easy.
This team is 1-4 and has Derrick Henry.
I'm not offering. He's not done anything. And that team is in shambles. Everybody's hurt. They're focused on the run. Like, he can't do anything. It's shown. He had a big week 1. He hasn't done anything since. It's been a massive decline. I told you guys all about Derrick Henry years ago.
Just like Derrick did with Brian Thomas.
Exactly. If this guy's desperate though and will sell for a second, I'm willing to take Derrick Henry, but he's not touching my first.
Now, if there's an avenue for a first and second for Bucky, I would take that. I'd offer a first and second for James Cook. Again, I'd be willing to offer
2 first with how he's playing
for James Cook
and a chance to win a ship. I'd do it.
Ooh, this team's 1-4.
1-4. Man, that's a good 1-4 team, but I have to remember it's 10 teams, so all these teams look a little bit better.
And that person probably took Cam Scatterby in the second. If you could offer him a first and second for Cam Scatterby, so he gets a second back and a first for Cam Scatterby, I would do that.
Heartbeat.
Yeah, that's the first offer I'm making, first and second for Cam Scatterby. I'd offer a second for Alvin Kamara just for depth. But again, I'm trying to use a first and second in a more to get a younger guy. Than an older
What
guy.
was the Jonathan Taylor team? Are they one of the lower ones? Yeah, I think they were one of the lower ones you clicked on.
This guy, but he's 4-1.
Okay, he's 4-1.
This is not a 7th ranked team. Like this team is better than this. I feel like.
What's his
Kenneth
receiver
Walker,
situation?
though.
Is that why that's why he's ranked so low? His receivers is pretty rough shape.
Yeah, he has Kittle and Rice. Just chilling.
George Kittle will move up in value now that he's going to be back and healthy.
Yeah, should be back next week, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's supposed to be back in week 7. All right. Because I was going to say, depending on where this team felt they are, but if they're 4-1, they're not moving Taylor. So no.
I think that Cam. What's that record of the Cam Scatterby guy?
I thought he's 1-4.
Yeah, first offer I'm making, first and second for Cam Scatterby. Very first offer.
Yep.
And that's the one I cross my fingers works.
Are you guys worried at all about the longevity of Cam Scatterby?
I'm worried about the longevity of almost every running back.
Yeah, I look at everybody at a 2 to 3 year window, and I'm totally comfortable.
Okay.
I mean, I'm like,
Okay.
there is such a slippery slope with all those guys. They're one knee injury away from being done.
I do understand what you're saying, Pete. Like his play style is a little more reckless than others, but that's the thing. That's how he's played his entire career. He's been a pretty healthy asset his entire career. And he's also what's that?
He's a little older too.
A little bit older, yeah. So I'm not overly concerned about him because we've seen other guys that have kind of a reckless style, and injuries seem to be somewhat fluky. Like it's just kind of, do you have good luck or do you have bad luck? And hopefully he has good luck, but you never know.
And honestly, like I know it sounds stupid, but like the way he plays, the way he's so compact, I would say he's less likely. I know it sounds stupid. Like they're all
concussions is what I worry about.
Everything.
He plays
concussions
so
is what I worry about with him. I'm not worried about other things as much.
No, he's part of it also.
Has he? How many concussions does he have? Does he have a history of them?
Not aware of any,
or just like a resting concussion.
That's the thing. He might just always having. He's kind of like Hulk. Like I'm just always angry.
I mean, sometimes
I'm
people have a lot of concussion because they go out there and start throwing teammates under the bus and tell people they are late for meetings and sound like a Looney Tune, and then they have a lot of concussions, and some people you just don't.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's the best offer we can get. I'd pay 2 first for James Cook.
I would too. The way he's playing right now and how that offense looks, like yes, it's a 2-year window.
And what's the record of that team?
1-4.
1-4.
For the Scatterby. What about James Cook?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
the James Cook one.
I thought you said James Conner for a second. I was like, what?
I always have a hard time paying 2 first for running backs unless they're like
James Cook's 3-2 points for his 4th.
Okay, so they probably think they're still in it, although they're a little nervous with Emeka Buka's injury.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. Like it's real hard for me to pay 2 first for running backs. It really is.
I get it because there's nothing worse than paying 2 first for a running back and then they get hurt. But the funny thing is, we have no problem doing it for receivers. And look at the injury list right now. The injury list is littered with wide receivers. There's hardly any running backs on it. Now, knock on wood, it could happen tomorrow. But I think we equate the physicality of the position to mean more injuries. And when you look at it, these freaking receivers are getting hurt all the time.
Yeah. Amen, brother.
I just wonder if we like, hey, here's 2 first and like a third. Like, give me James Cook in a second.
Maybe. I would be fine with that too. I would love that.
He does have an extra 26 second as well.
That could get done, maybe.
Scatterby first. James Cook second.
Go back to our team again, Pete.
Yep.
Give me a quick refresher. Yeah, because in a 10-team league, David Montgomery, unless I'm absolutely desperate, is never touching my starting lineup. Neither is Aaron Jones. Neither is Tyjae Spears. Like, these guys just like aren't going to touch my starting lineup. So I would also, just from a logistical standpoint, we have a ton of receivers. I'm wanting to start unloading some of those.
Yeah, I'm using recency bias on Kayshon Boutte, and I'm throwing him in on a deal for one of those young teams to get a deal done. Like for Cam Scottaboo, like here's my first, second in Kayshon Boutte. Like to over make it look good. And Cam, like again, recency bias. He just had this big game. People are like, oh, I'm getting the number one in New England. Like, and maybe he does turn into it, but like I don't care. Like with
when are you going to know when to start Dontavian Wicks and Tutu Atwell? And I'm moving some of these guys just as sweeteners, or like, oh, you're going to give me a fourth? Okay. Like just to clear some of this out. Cause I would rather load my roster up with like running backs, and since it's super flex, quarterbacks that might have a shot to really boom.
And all these picks are a little bit more valuable being in 10-team league too. So it's just like, I love players.
Wright's on the waiver wire. Rashard Smith's on the waiver wire.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude, drop some of those receivers and pick both those guys up.
110%. Yep. And that's something I just look on all my teams. Isaiah Davis. I'm not even a big Isaiah Davis guy, but I'd rather him than
go let's look some of the receivers. Let's pick some receivers to cut. Tutu Atwell.
Yep. Wicks.
And Wicks.
Wilson probably, unless Marv's going to be out a long time.
I'd hold on to Wilson for now.
Although I'd rather Brashard Smith, honestly, than Wilson. Probably Pat Bryant, too, even though I like his upside.
Yeah,
Tutu Atwell, Dontavian Wicks, and Parker Washington.
Wicks, Atwell, Thornton, Washington can all go. If I had to. Probably Thornton last. But in 10-man league, those guys aren't. Yeah. You're like Garrett said, what do you have all this depth at running back for? You need depth at a receiver. Well, you need depth at running back. So add Jalen Wright. Add those guys that are there and cut. Like shit, dude. Honestly, Tank Bigsby. I'd rather both those running backs on the waiver wire over Tank Bigsby, to be honest with you. Because Will Shipley's the backup in Philly.
And so is AJ Dillon somehow.
Yeah. So like that's another guy like I would be willing to get rid of, like over those guys in the waiver wire.
Yep. The smaller the league, the less I want those wide receiver 6s and 7s. Like you never know when to play them unless you see a true upside ceiling path. If you can't tell me what it is, get them off.
Tutu Atwell should be on a waiver wire of the deepest leagues for the most part. Yep. He's just a name. Former second round pick has done nothing. He's had like 2 games. They're good. He's nothing. He's literally nothing. If you ever start him, it's because you are trying to respectfully tank.
Boom. There
I think I'm starting him in invitational.
Exactly.
All
right. On to the next.
Names to have just to fill out your roster. Again, respectfully tank. Like, dude, you would expect me to cut Tutu Atwell, former second round pick? Come on.
And Dwayne Eskridge.
Eskridge?
Never heard of her. Was he a former second round pick too?
Yep. They were like drafted back to back.
And that was the same class. Ready for it? Amon-Ra St. Brown went in the 4th.
Yeah. Then
that was the Terrace Marshall class too, right? What?
Didn't Eskridge get drafted by Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
I was furious. Okay. Next one is Martin. There's our nice logo.
From the man from the 5th flow.
It's a 1 quarterback, 12 team, start 9. Was thinking of trying to trade for Stroud and a wide receiver or something similar. Maybe a Pacheco or Shaheed, plus my 26 first for a wide receiver 1 or running back 1.
All right.
Your team blows.
It's also a tight end premium. Usually you don't see that with 1 quarterback. So I want.
Oh, so it's a 1 quarterback, but it is tight end premium. Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts, 2 at quarterback, running back Trey Benson, Bayshaw Tootin, Isaiah Pacheco, Woody Marks, Jaden Blue, Tank Bigsby, Brashard Smith, LaQuint Allen, Will Shipley. Wide receivers, Terry McLaurin, Luther Burden, Alec Manor, Trey Harris, Kyle Williams, Rashid Shaheed, Troy Franklin, Josh Palmer. Tight end wise, we're looking at Evan Ingram, Cade Otten, Hunter Henry, Gunnar Helm, And then draft picks wise, we have our first. We've got 2 seconds in 27. And then we've got some extra like ancillary thirds in force along the way. So, Rich, I'll be honest. What's that?
We have 227 firsts.
Yeah,
I know. I said that.
So, first off, the offer he says right there, Hurts for Stroud and Olave. Get rid of the third and say, now that Rice is coming back, are you willing to revisit? And I would take that deal in a heartbeat, like in a heartbeat.
Yes. And honestly, even if the deal doesn't get done with where your team is at, if there is a quarterback on my team not named Daniels or Allen, maybe Lamar, if I can use them to get a better player at another position in a 1 QB, I'm always doing it.
Oh, 100%. That Olave for that Olave deal will be fantastic for you. And then running back, I would take anything I could possibly get for Pacheco. Like literally, I'm putting a message out there, taking the best offer. I'm just putting out there, whoever needs running back help, I will take the best offer I get for Pacheco. Like, and then literally take the best offer I can get for Pacheco, like that same day. Like,
100%.
Hey guys, I'm giving it till the Thursday kickoff. Whoever sends me the best offer, and every day I'm annoyed them. Hey, just letting you guys know, got 2 offers in. Deadline Thursday. I'll be hitting accept on Pacheco.
110%. Yep.
And then Kamani Vidal. Oh, that's not your team. Damn, I was gonna say opportunity. Who else? Dude, when Terry comes back, he's got to go. I would put Luther Burden out there for anything I could possibly get.
Honestly, even Trey Benson, and I'm a Trey Benson guy, but Trey Benson, when he comes back, he's off my roster.
Gone. Your tight end premium, go back down. Our team, please. Yeah. I don't care about the other teams, Pete. Evan Ingram's been red hot these last 2 weeks. I am putting Evan Ingram out there. Same offer.
Henry.
I'm putting Hunter. I'm putting all for us to go through and try and find a deal on this. It's people are going to smell your desperation. It's going to be a stinky cologne. And you are what I'm doing. I'm pulling this one out of Garrett's hat, where I'm just saying I'm putting Evan Ingram. I'm putting all those guys we just mentioned, and I'm putting them out there. And Shaheed too. Hey guys. I keep Luther Burden. I'd hold Terry McLaurin until he comes back and starts doing something. And I put Kate On's gonna have a good week this week with a Mecca out. He was I think he was the number 1 target share. If it wasn't number 1, he was number 2. Even though Mike Evans is coming back next week. But I am putting Evan Ingram. I'm putting Hunter Henry out there. I'm putting Trey Benson out there, and hopefully you can get that deal done. That Hurts deal, and then I'm putting Pacheco out there, each individual, like taking the best offer for each of these guys, willing to listen to package deals as well. And you're taking your best offer, and this is and you're going to reset. You have your own 26 first, right? Can you go down?
Yeah, he has his own 26 first, and he's got 2 and 27.
Okay, so here's other best advice I can give you too. So you want to get these players off your roster. Your picks gonna be pretty high. When you come into your draft pick next year, which is 1-1, 1-2. You want to move back in the draft and pick up a later draft pick, wherever it is, and you want to acquire another 27 first as well. You want to do that as well. So sell all those players for literally the best offer you can get. It doesn't matter if you're losing the deal or not. Just take the best offers you can get and get those players off your roster. Our goal here is to make your 26 pick as high as possible. It's 1 QB, so people are going to be looking at the receiver that goes in the first round, Jeremiah Love, because he might possibly go in the first love right there. A running back, definitely a guy like Jeremiah Love does not interest you in the slightest bit. Hopefully you're sitting there with Olave and Terry McLaurin, and then same thing. Terry McLaurin comes on late in the season. You can flip Terry McLaurin for hopefully a first in 2027, not 2026. In 2027 is what we're looking for. And then what you want to do is the biggest step here to get you moved up is in 2026 when you have the 1-1 or the 1-2, you want to move back in the draft. It doesn't matter if it's 111, 112, 1-9. The farther you go back, you might be able to get a little bit more on top of the 27 first. Is say you met 112, 111. Hey, I want 111, 112, 211, 212, and your 27 first for 1-2. That's totally fine as well. But the key is acquire the first, then take an upside receiver over best player available. Hopefully in this draft class, it'll probably be a receiver. And then get that other 27 first. That'll give you 327 first. Hopefully you can flip Terry McLaurin into that. I would then, because if you get a second on top of that, you can do that more. Yes, all draft capital.
Correct.
All draft capital.
Thirds, fourths, whatever you got to do. Now, there's a couple guys in here like Woody Marks, Jaden Blue, Brashard Smith, LaQuint Allen. Some of those guys, I'm waiting to see what happens this year because selling them now is not going to do you much. But all it takes, like if you would have been able to sell right after that Woody Marks week, I saw people asking for first. Now, I don't know that they got them, but they were asking for first. So you can wait for those guys since they're still so young and see what you can get. Bashal Tootin as well. Like see what you can get as the season goes on.
Yeah, we're very specific here. If you can make the Hurts deal, make that Hurts. But the players we're talking about are Pacheco, and Evan Ingram and Hunter Henry are the players we're talking about right now. Anytime a running back shows himself as the guy, whether it be Brashard Smith, Jaden Blue, Woody Marks, when Trey Benson
comes back,
or Tootin, they immediately go on the block. Like they have a good game on the block. Like same thing. Like you're an auction house at this point. You could take the time and go through every owner, but for you, like you're better off just creating this auction and then just see like, I think you have a better chance of approaching somebody like that. They're going to be like, I don't know if I want it. You put on the auction block. People are like, oh, I'm competing against maybe nobody. They don't know. So maybe they throw you a third because they want to be like, oh, it's a late third. It's the best offer. And the third's like your only offer, but you get a third. Like it's going to be your best chance for success. And if you don't get it, you do it the following week, right? Like you do it the following week too. But literally the best offer you accept, you get those guys off your roster. Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry, Isaiah Pacheco to start. Opportunity everywhere else. Take your first next year when it's 1-1, 1-2. You move back. You get additional second that year if you can. If not, you got to get a 27 first to set yourself up for 27. This is a 2027 pivot because your first would be really high. So you're going to get Jeremiah Smith. And hopefully one of those like lucks into another high first, but like that's where the rebuild starts and you're going to look to compete right around 2028. So you want to get as much draft capital as you can. And you want to push all that capital that you possibly can into 2027 as much as possible. If a higher pick is in 26, you take the higher pick, but you want to push all that all into 2027. And you're looking for a plethora of picks in 2027 to start that rebuild. Then you have, Luther Burden. You would have Luther Burden there. I'd be okay, but at least he's an upside player. You have Chris Olave in your back pocket. If there's a right time to move.
If you get Chris Olave, I'm fine even moving him again. Like once 100%. You get him, once he has a nice spike week,
27 first. Yeah, 27 first there. Maybe a 27 first and second if you hold out a couple of weeks there.
I bet you can get a second too.
Yeah, you're in full rebuild here. Man, full rebuild. If anybody offered me anything whatsoever for Tua, I don't care if it was a third in a 1 QB league. I'm taking a third,
fourth, fifth, Tua. Any draft capital.
Yeah, anything for Tua. Instead, if you get Stroud, that's fine. If anybody wants to move Stroud for another quarterback, I'd be okay with that as well. Again, I like to have the young quarterback in my back pocket so it doesn't affect my complete rebuild. It won't stop you from taking a good quarterback if the opportunity presents itself in the second. Maybe like a Jackson Darts there, like this year in the third, and you just scoot them up because you could use some quarterback depth. Now it pans out to be a stud. The biggest move you're going to make again is going to be moving your first next year for the Hall, the first, second, and 27 first. Somebody will fall in love with in the back end, and you will get that deal. 100%, you will get that deal. And you're going to say, "Hey, man, I'm trying to move out of 1-2. I'm trying to move back. Whoever's the best one that gets them up there as well." That is the best advice you're going to get for that team. There's no specific deal. It's a complete blow up, and you're taking the best you could possibly get because it's going to help you in the long run by just getting those points off your roster completely.
Absolutely. All right. Mike asks us 1 QB league here. Devonta Smith, Ray Davis, or Quentin Johnston, Torrey Horton, or Devontae and Ray Davis for Quentin Johnston and two early seconds in 26 and in 27. Rich, for me, and granted, maybe there's a little bias with this, but I'm not looking to buy high on Quentin Johnston. Like I'm looking at this as an opportunity to sell. So I would not be interested, especially in the first one. The second one's a little bit intriguing because I do like the early seconds that I'd be getting. So if I was in rebuild, I'd be open to that one, but definitely not the first one.
Yeah, first one's a hard no. Second one, I'd be okay with it. I don't even, because listen, maybe Quinn Johnson turns it around and this is what he is. Like, you have a couple drop balls, but they spent a first round pick on him. They're happy. He's producing. Maybe it's a win. I would do the second one for the upside if I'm rebuilding. The first one's a hard pass. And I'd have to know those seconds in 26 and 27 are early.
Right. Yeah. I'd have to feel good about, top 3 seconds in those,
because it's a 1 QB league too. So those draft picks are less valuable. You know what I mean? Like they're way less valuable, even being higher seconds.
But if it's a 10 team, then
10 team more valuable, 12 team way less. Like they're just way less valuable because
absolutely.
What you did to quarter, like it's just super flex tight end premium draft picks are just significantly worth more. That's all.
No.
How are you doing for time, Rich? Do you have a hard out at 2, or are you able to go just a little tiny bit over?
I just have to, if I could check out for a minute, I have an endoscopy tomorrow. Check up on that ulcer I had before to make sure it's healed. So I get knocked out again. I just have to check the time. My wife is asking me what time it is for tomorrow. She's got to drive me because I'm getting knocked out. So let me just check out real quick and then I'll be right back. And then I will be good to go for a couple more.
Okay.
All right. Well, go ahead and get the next one up, Pete, and I can start to go through it while he's looking.
Yep. So this is Gregory's team.
All right, Greg.
It's a 10-team, start 10, super flex, rough start to the season. Knew it would be a rebuild year. Which player should I move on for and for how much? Having a hard time moving vet quarterbacks. Everyone wants one quarterback pricing in super flex. So probably don't trade your quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, and that is tough. There are leagues that the super flex position isn't valued as highly. It is tough too because you're in a 10-team league. So 10 team, it's not as hard to get quarterbacks as it is in 12 teams. So you see those kind of prices and values dip a little bit in that situation. So I think that's probably part of the reason you're having that struggle. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at it here. At the quarterback position in this super flex 10-team league, we've got Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Matt Stafford, Jalen Milroe. At running back, we have Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Jalen Wright, Braylon Allen, Ollie Gordon, Tyler Algier. Wide receiver, we have Zay Flowers, Jalen Waddle, Travis Hunter, Matthew Golden, Jerry Jeudy, Jaden Reed, Jaden Higgins, all these J's, Josh Downs, Xavier Legette, Troy Franklin. Tight end, we've got Colston Loveland, Dallas Goedert, and Oronde Gadsden. Picks-wise, 2 firsts in 2026, including our own. We have our 2027 first. We've got some extra thirds and stuff like that, and all of our picks in 2028. We are missing those seconds, though, in 26 and 27. Rich, while you were gone, you let us know quarterbacks, even though it's a super flex league, because it's 10-teamer, are kind of valued closer to 1 QB in his league for whatever reason than they are super flex. So moving quarterbacks is a little bit difficult to do. We are currently in 8th place in dynasty mode. Pete, where are we at in contender mode?
9th.
Okay. So at 2-8 and being in 9th place in the rankings and being in 9th place in our contender values, this is probably not going to be what you want to hear, but you have your own first and 26. I think better days are ahead for a guy like Breece Hall. I think better days hopefully could be better for Kenneth Walker, but they can't get much worse, and you're not going to get anything for him right now that's worth what he's actually worth. And your receivers, can you scroll to the receivers again, Pete?
Yep.
Your receivers right now, like most of these guys have depressed values. Zay Flowers has had a solid season, so he's about the same. But everybody else has a little bit of a depressed value right now. Maybe not Jalen Waddle. He's up too, but Hunter's got a depressed value. Judy's got a depressed value. Downs does. Like all of these guys. The only guy right now that I would be looking to move is Dallas Goedert because he's eaten right now, and I don't know that I trust that for forever. But I know you're not going to love this. I think otherwise I would rather just sit pat let my team be what it is this year, which is going to be a bottom 3 team. Use that draft pick, and hopefully things look better next year. Because right now, selling a lot of these assets are not going to get you the value that they're worth. What do you think, Rich?
Yeah, I agree. This is, again, it kind of goes back to how we started the show. Like, this is like a patient. Sometimes you just got to be patient. Like, obviously you're in rebuild mode, and I'm just kind of finding the right opportunity with like injuries, right? Like, so scroll back up right now. People just lost Emeka. People lost Puka Nacua, right? Like, what, can I move Zay Flowers in like a third for somebody's 27? You know what I mean? Like, can I give a second in Zay Flowers for a 27 first? Your first can be a little bit higher. Can I move these running backs? I'm looking to move these running backs in the right window. Because for me, Garrett, this is a blow up team. For me, there is nothing here. I mean, your quarterbacks are very good. I know they're less valuable, but like, if I can move Matt Stafford for a second round pick, like if they're that, like for somebody's trying to win, I would love to do that. But like, I'm finding the right window to move Brees, and I'm finding the right window to move Kenneth Walker. Because like, this team to me is a team that you have solid players on there. You don't have any really superstars. Brees compete outside the quarterback room. Obviously Pat Mahomes, if I could tear down from Pat Mahomes, that'd be great. I don't care how people value the quarterback less. Like, what's the team 3? Can I just look at team 3 real quick?
Yes. Baker, Kyler, Cam.
Okay, perfect example here. This guy
8-2.
He's 8-2. He lost Puka. Okay, here we go, Garrett. Can I offer him Pat Mahomes? I would take back Cam. I guess I would take back Cam Ward. I'm fine with that over Kyler Murray. Like, and like, can we scroll down? So he has at receiver. Down. Picks. Oh, he's got no picks.
He's got no first, at least until 28.
Let me see how sexy that 28 first is going to look just to start there. Brock.
I mean, it's his own, so.
Yeah, it's not going to be that. It's going to be still late. Damn. I would need.
See, I'm worried about Cam Ward. Like, I'm not interested in.
Cam I'm worried too. I'm not. I thought if we can get Cam Ward plus like multiple first, because then we have Justin Herbert, then we can use our first and grab a quarterback, with our multiple. That's what I thought. Like, Cam Ward wasn't a long-term solution for me either. It was just
okay.
Like,
I was like, I'm out.
No. Yeah, that had nothing to do with that. It was just like what he'd be like the quarterback I'm getting back as our third quarterback. So we'd be drafting the quarterback with all our draft kits.
Sure.
I don't really see, because he's not going to give us anything else that we want here. Honestly, if I could get Cam Ward and Drake London for Pat Mahomes, and maybe I give him like our worst receiver back. I don't know who are receivers.
I'm sorry. They are Flowers, Waddle,
like Josh Downs.
Honestly, he's willing to trade. Like, would you do?
I worry that they wouldn't, because he's talking about this being more like a 1 QB prices on these quarterbacks. I don't think they're going to give him much.
No, but again, Pat Mahomes is. You're right. Maybe it is, but what I'm saying is, like, do you think he'd be interested in? Probably. If you did treat him that low, like, I would love to offer him like Zay Flowers, Pat Mahomes, and I'd love to be able to get like Cam Ward in his 28 first and Drake London back. And you know what? Keep Cam Ward. Give me Drake London and your 28 first. And then we just use one of our first on a quarterback to get back. We get Drake London. And that would give us.
I mean, if it could get done, I would love that. In normal super flex leagues, that might be close-ish, but I don't know that would happen in this one.
And that's the thing. Maybe not.
We might have to pivot away from the quarterbacks, because I just don't think that they're going to give us what we want for them.
If it's that bad.
That's kind of the hard part we're at with this league, Rich. I think it really is more of just you kind of have to wait and hope things are better next year, and use that 26 first wisely. You have the 227 first, because I just don't know right now. Outside of, I'm trying to get a second for Goddard. I want that second for Goddard, and I think
go to team two. That's what I'm trying to say. Can we package Goddard and a receiver for somebody who needs a little receiver help?
Okay,
this guy could use another running back.
He could. He definitely could, especially in a 10-teamer.
He could use a receiver.
He's got a lot of Dallas Goedert level tight ends, though.
Yeah, but he can use a receiver. You scroll down.
I'm not as low on Zay Flowers as you are, so I guess it depends on what you're wanting to sell him.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not like drastically low on Zay Flowers. I'm just trying to see if I can get more draft capital for him. That's all. These guys haven't picks anyway, so it's out the window. Never mind. I'm not trying to give Zay Flowers away by any means. It's just
Okay.
Here's the thing. I think we have valuable. I think Zay Flowers is an asset. My point is, like,
For sure.
I think by the time we use what picks do we have? Our first.
We have our first in 26 and 27. We have an extra 27 first.
So okay, is the flip of it like we could turn it around and hold on. I got to check out for 1 second here.
All right, you're good. Yeah, I think for me, I think that's where Rich and I are going to differ a little bit. I'm definitely moving Dallas Goedert for a second.
Okay.
I would be open to selling a wide receiver on this team, but realistically, I think most of your assets today are in a depressed state. So I don't think you're going to get what you want. I'm waiting for spike week for Breece Hall, spike week for Kenneth Walker. And if I don't get it, I think Breece Hall's on a different team next year. I think Kenneth Walker could be on a different team next year. Like I think
this is his contract year, right?
Breece for sure. And Kenneth Walker was in the same class. So
yeah.
I'm guessing it's both of their contract years. I would rather wait and not sell low on those guys and just hope better days are ahead because it is not a great running back class. So I think we could see what we saw a few years ago when Josh Jacobs signed in free agency and Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift and Derrick Henry and all these guys are signing in free agency. I think we're going to get something more similar to that where we're actually getting valuable running backs on some of these teams. So I think that's the route that this is going to end up going. And I'd rather hold till then personally.
Okay. Sweet.
All right. Well, I think that wraps things up for us, Pete. Anything else that you got?
No, just tune into the Razors and Fallers episode later. I'll get that up around 3 Eastern time.
Perfect.
So
that'll go around 3.
Tune for that.
We're done.
Hallelujah. 2 hours is my limit.
It's tough.
We'll see
if we get a bunch in, we'll maybe do a midweek one or something like that and grab Andrew Mott or Jagger or somebody like that. But yeah, other than that, I think we're good to go.
It's good to pack. I like to have like a good show, good solid 2 hour show for Mondays. So let them kind of pile up. But appreciate everybody. I'll be back on tomorrow's podcast talking more Dynasty. And yeah, check out all our stuff.
We got
See
a lot
ya.
of stuff.